at the 2.5 meter DuPont telescope at Les Components. And we were down there to look in closely around Uranus and Neptune in preparation for the upcoming Voyager encounters of these two planets. The idea to see if there were any small satellites that had yet been detected, and just to look closely at their environment. Well, I realized when we were down there that this was also an opportunity to observe Beta Pictoris. And so before Uranus and Neptune were high enough, there was a little observing time available at the beginning of the night. And we took images of Beta Pictoris. Now, because it wasn't easy to change the filters in the coronagraph, we were having to look through the methane filter that we would be using for Uranus and Neptune, that is the 890 micron filter. So we took a series of images of Beta Pictoris, I think perhaps each night during the observing run. It was a relatively brief observing run, but at that time at Las Campanas, there were no facilities that allowed us to do any significant image processing. And so we packed up our equipment and went home. I should mention that in addition to the LDO coronagraph, we were using Jim Westfall's CCD detector, which I think used the Frank Lowe Doer. And that was borrowed from Caltech. So when we left, Terrile went back to JPL, taking the tapes and equipment, the Doer with him, and I shipped the coronagraph back to Tucson, and pretty much forgot about the Beta Pic observations. We had not been able to see anything around the other three stars, and so it was more concerned at the time about processing the Uranus and Neptune images. But Terrile was looking at the Beta Pic images, and he said there's something in the images, and it didn't look like an artifact. So I looked at it, and sure enough, here were these bright disc-like features sticking out from both sides of the image. And I thought at first it might be a diffraction pattern caused by perhaps the dome hadn't kept up with the pointing, and then maybe the dome, edge of the dome had cut off into the field of view and produced a diffraction spike. But I did the calculations, and no, that couldn't possibly have been it. So we had a lot more confidence at that time, and we put together a paper to present in Hawaii later in the year, and submitted a paper to Science. But still, I wasn't 100% convinced that this was real, and so that was kind of a nagging thought that I had until our next observing run, which was a year after the first one, that is in the spring of '85, and so we were a bit nervous when we first looked at Beta Pic, but there it was, very clear. And we went on and made multispectral observations, polarization measures of it. And at the end of one of the observing runs, I removed the Doer and installed an eyepiece back in the focal plane to look in to see if I could actually see this thing. And sure enough, it was there. Very, very easy to see. So that's basically the story. I didn't see Beta Pic again until we observed it at Picmos many years later.